My name's Pete Modi. I teach English at Burn Hills High School. So the 22 a day push-up challenge is essentially a challenge that is supposed to bring to the awareness of a community or society as a whole that there's just an epidemic amongst our active servicemen and women and veterans, that the toll that the trauma of service takes has led to like a really unfortunate statistics that on average 22 veterans take their lives every single day. And the 22 push-up challenge is essentially an opportunity for a community to come together and spend a little bit of time just doing a push-up to represent how many servicemen take their life. How the 22 a day push-up challenge works, essentially any student who is interested, they will try and complete at least 22 push-ups every school day in the month of February. We're very adamant that we don't gatekeep what a push-up is. So essentially, if a kid's willing to put the time in, if it's a push-up from their knees, if it's a push-up on the wall, it's the act of coming together as a community and spending the time doing that to recognize again, the plight of servicemen and women that is the most important. And for me, my father served in the Navy. Both of my grandfathers served in the Navy during World War II. I have just an incalculable number of former students that are either active servicemen and women or are former servicemen and women. And I just want them to know that even though I don't know the struggle firsthand, I don't know the trauma firsthand, I don't know the pressure firsthand, that I'm at least with them on this walk and promoting to the best of my ability that other people are aware of how heavy that burden is. And if doing 22 push-ups a day helps further that awareness, I'm all about it.
Color Guard, please present the colors. Good morning, and welcome to SGO's 2026 Memorial Day ceremony. On behalf of the Student Government Executive Board, we thank you all for joining us today in memory of those we lost. We will begin our ceremony with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our national anthem.
Thank you to Mrs. Derrick and Ms. Clark and the student musicians in the choir and our band. Our first speech this morning is from Alize Cluzel.
It's very difficult for me to imagine sacrifice, like true sacrifice, of mind, of body, of life. I'd like to think that I would sacrifice myself for the cause, for the good of other people, for my country, but I don't think that I could. When it comes down to it, I don't know if I'd be strong enough when it mattered. Not many of us know if we would be strong enough to serve, to sacrifice, and very few of us actually have to find out. I don't think I could fight. I don't think I could see real combat, let alone kill. I think about those who have, and what that means for them, what they may or may not come home with. Every Memorial Day, I try to imagine myself, really imagine myself in that position. Perhaps stuck in desert trenches for days, perhaps pulling my friend out of rubble, someone I love, someone I've trained with, perhaps seeing screaming children running in streets so skinny you can see their ribs through their skin. Maybe I can picture that, but it's nothing like seeing it, like living it. And maybe it's because I've read so many books, so many historical fiction books. I've read books on the Revolution, American and French. I've read about the Civil War and the horrors of Vietnam. I read The Boy in the Striped Pajamas in days. So maybe that's where my warped notion of war comes from. As much as I've read about it and seen it in movies, I will never know what it means to serve, nor do I have half the bravery and the strength to see the atrocities of war. Now, I don't know if I even believe in war. And the older I get, every time I open the news, more and more, even my phone for that matter, it seems like someone, somewhere, is dying in the face of armed conflict. Photos of what I try to see versus what are memories for those who have served. I try to see. I look at Pulitzer Prize-winning photos of Gaza, the bloodshed there. But I only see it. I may be naive to say that for the longest time, I didn't believe in war. I couldn't understand how people would give up their lives, their families, voluntarily at least, to fight in battles they didn't know if they would return from. I thought there had to be a better way. I remember being puzzled by the idea of war crimes. How were there war crimes when the idea of war seems so inhumane in itself? Now, though, I see that bigger guns, while they don't always equal bigger wins or bigger respect, are a part of world geopolitics. So we must have a respect for them, at least at a distance, and to those who use them. And those who do use them, who have learned, for better or worse, what combat really is, I cannot offer more than gratitude. Gratitude when I shake a veteran's hand, when I make eye contact with them, trying to see what they have seen. I can say thank you 1,000 times, but it will never make up for those who have been lost fighting for something they may not have even known, let alone believed in. So much is lost in the lines of war, and so much more is lost when someone dies in those lines of war. I can't repay that debt we owe to them as Americans, to those who have served, but we can try to see them, to see their side. It's so easy to jump to conclusions, and it's unfortunate that I myself have such a twisted outlook on Memorial Day and all things U.S. military. However, I, like the rest of us, stuck between the balance of supporting war or peace, should use Memorial Day to find the balance. There is humanity in war. There must be. We created it. So this Memorial Day, I will try to think of those deployed, those who have fought, those who have lost their lives, their families, the people. It's more than who wins and who fights. It's not who has the biggest guns. It's who comes home and what they're burdened with. And while I can't begin to understand it, I can listen to those who do, who have lived it. And maybe they can add more knowledge to my definition of war, more so than my previous obsession with historical fiction books or those Pulitzer Prize-winning photos. I'm not so sure veterans want to hear another thank you for your service and a half-hearted handshake. Instead, I wonder what true curiosity, true emotion would do on Memorial Day. What if instead we tried to see more, to understand more? What if instead of saying Happy Memorial Day, we just had this holiday of respect and grace? I don't think it has to be a somber holiday, just one of remembrance and one for a celebration of life. Yes, we must think in memoriam of those who have courageously lost their lives in service, but think too about the balance between war and peace. Thank you.
Our final speech this morning is from Joseph Gentile.
By losing hair, sleep, and human connections, military service is in every facet a selfless endeavor, costing its members not only the body, but the mind and soul as well. And as the son of 2 Air Force veterans, there have been many times in my life a loved one was gone, deployed for months on end. Never once, though, did my young mind imagine the possibility of them simply never returning. But no matter how remote that possibility may have seemed, it has become a tragic reality for many families through a phone call, letter, or a folded American flag delivered to their doorstep. And this unfortunately is not an uncommon occurrence. Over the course of our country's history, millions of Americans have died in service, and 80,000 have not yet been or will not be recovered. That's millions of family members, friends, and peers forced to accept the loss of one who meant so much to them. But with this grief and solemnness weighing heavy on our hearts, it is important to be reminded that a person has two lives, the first of which ends when they cease to live, and the second ends when they cease to be remembered. It is for this very reason that I implore you to not only keep these fallen soldiers in your thoughts, but to find inspiration in their stories, for their sacrifice started long before their loss of life. Missed birthdays or holidays, exhaustion and trauma, these sacrifices only resemble the tip of the iceberg, and they make it abundantly clear that never-ending and persistent resilience is a common trait amongst the ones lost in service. And if we adopt just a fraction of their combined perseverance, we could truly make this world a better place. Thank you.
We would now like to take a moment to recognize the BHBL alumni who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Robert M. Anderson, Robert C. Bates, Julian M. Boswell, Liam Casey, Walter A. Condy, John J. Fanning, Graydon Godfrey, Herbert D. Gott II, David B. Hansen, Harold Heckler, Raymond M. Horneth.
Fred F. Kingsbury, Ambrose Lombardo, William M. Macmillan, John A. Mancini, Gerard Phoenix, William Quellhorst Jr., William Schermerhorn, Joseph B. Smith, Arthur C. Ward Jr., and Joseph Zanetti. Thank you.
Please join me in a moment of silence to honor those who have given their lives for their country. Color guard, please retire the colors.
On behalf of the BHBL High School SGO, I would like to thank you all for joining us today in honoring those who have gave their lives for our freedom. We would like to further express our gratitude to Mrs. Clark and Mrs. Derrick and the concert band and choir for today's music, our seniors, Alize and Joseph, for their thoughtful words, and Spartan Studios for broadcasting the ceremony. This concludes the ceremony. Thank you and have a safe, long weekend.